See you later, suckers. I'm the good man, supposed to lose. What the fuck's going on? Oh yeah, honestly.
Alright, so this film was pretty good. I liked it a lot. I think the first thing that stands out is the sepia tone matched with the black and white. It gave that, that feel to it that didn't have, like, they weren't lazy. They didn't just do black and white. It was black and white with sepia tone. The storyline, as it was stated at the end, based on by F.W. Murnau and Henrik Galeen. I'd be interested to find the story. That's how it's stated, story. So maybe it's not a book. Maybe it's a story. I mean, I don't know what country that Murnau and Galeen originates from. Maybe France and Germany. I don't know. I'll have to put that on the back burner for my personal digest and allow this difference between Bram Stoker is the main thing. Okay, maybe you're not like into this Bram Stoker thing until recently. Maybe you just recently came across Bram Stoker, Abraham Stoker. Maybe you have been like me and been a fan of Bram Stoker's Dracula for a really long time and come across this right here. I bet it's the movie. I don't know. I could throw ideas in the air, brainstorm, toss ideas up all day long about what is the originating of this film here, because there's the 1930s or 1960s something film that I thought this was actually based on, and I also thought that it was maybe a remastered version of. So this is a really confusing review. So I'm working out my confusions while I'm doing this here. This is really confusing. First off, is it a story or a book? Second off, how have I never heard of it? Number 3, is it from the original film with the same title? And then last but not least, let's get into where episode whatever the heck I did reading of the magazine article that had the film in it, and I thought to myself, oh, I'm gonna go watch this. I mean, I just stumbled across this, found this, and started watching it. It comes out, it's what it is. It's what the magazine article was about. And I'm gonna actually backtrack and check that out. The absolute feel of lighting, contrast. I mean, those are the two freaking really big numbers here that would give this movie a higher rating. With the high contrast, good lighting. I mean, the feel of it's a movie, not a video game, so it's got about that much for me to say about it on that aspect. Moving on. So David Lee Fisher, the director of this film, has added in a line that Dracula said on Bram Stoker's Dracula, and that is also altered with the means by which Jonathan Harker, if that's even Jonathan Harker, I mean, I don't know if it's just me, that's how I watch movies and how I follow movies or whatever, but I'm just gonna have to go ahead and say it right off the bat. I really enjoyed this film. I really enjoyed this. But I don't know if that's Jonathan Harker. He's definitely the one selling the estate to Nosferatu. But when he's, however, cutting his dinner, he's cutting his meat that he's eating for supper, and cuts himself, Nosferatu says what Dracula says in Bram Stoker's Dracula. So it's like, is that a tip of the hat? Is that a nod? It just doesn't seem the same as me as a musician during a movie review and as a musician in general, okay? I don't find that to be much of a tip of the hat. I find that to be just a little bit slightly insulting, if not maybe just possibly mildly weird that he would add that in, because this doesn't seem like a tip of the hat or a slight nod or something like that. It's like he took what Bram Stoker said Dracula, added that in and altered it to, and he's cutting this up. One thing that's also, other than the contrast, sepia tone, black and white, that I love about this film a lot is the dialogue. The intervals, the silences in between the dialogue, the smooth transitions in between scenes. I had no problem in memory and committing to memory in my mind, keeping track of where each scene was going from scene to scene. Where he's selling the estate, then he's, being warned against going to the castle, and then he's back home and telling everybody about it. Van Helsing, one problem, Van Helsing is not in this film. You should be aware of that if you're a Van Helsing fan, as Hugh Jackman and his Van Helsing film that was considered a flop by most people, from what I understand, is going to be making those fans pretty upset about this. Might be discouraged from watching it. Not that I care, not that any of us care who love this. Again, adding that altered scene in there, that really threw me off. It took me aback. I didn't need that. I didn't need that. When I was watching this, I was totally just in. It rubbed me the wrong way. I'm just going to mention that one more time. The altered, you cut yourself scene has rubbed me the wrong way, but I'm not going to dwell on it too long. So yeah, dialogue, intervals, good, contrast, sepia tone, all that stuff. Love it. Now running through the recap here, that the coolest scene, I would say my favorite highlight has to be Nosferatu sneaking on the ship, uh, killing killing the other passengers on the boat, and he sneaks on the ship and goes to London, and he says, "Oh, okay, you won't make it easy on me to get to London. Well, I'm sneaking on the ship and I'm going to London." It's not, not that that wasn't also in Bram Stoker's version, but it was in Bram Stoker's version, also in this film. I mean, it's kind of a hodgepodge, in conclusion, this thing is kind of a hodgepodge. If there's any more details that I'd like to add in, it would be, of course, maybe a bit out of order, and let me explain why. Maybe a little bit out of order due to the fact that new Renfield film turned out to be. I was ecstatic to see that it was made, to see that there was that film was made. I got the opportunity to watch it. Not too recently, but kind of recently, and checked it out, and it was A1. It was smashing. There's just only one huge deal breaker with the new Renfield film. As a quick side banter, it's aimed at a slightly younger crowd than me. Not much younger, but as it's extremely gory. It's for people who love extreme gore, very gory film. But it's just the whole dialogue, the way that everything sounds, the way that people are talking, the way that the clips, everything, the way that it looks and feels is directed for people slightly younger than me, maybe like 5-10 years younger than me. That's right up your alley. But not I. So, and speaking of the Renfield, he's got really, his whole part in this film. He's got his whole scene in here where he's eating flies, and of course, doing his classic, his classic signature lines of "the master is coming," and "I have to feed the master," and etc. So Renfield's in there, huge plus on that. Good job on Renfield. The guy was, the acting's A1 too. Of course, you can't miss out on the acting. I suck at movie reviews, as you know, but please let me know that in the comments so you could verify my self-critical attitude, if that's what it is. Those actors of this film really did a smashing job. They really did a great job, bang up job, good job. But let's get back to Renfield. Renfield's got he's got his part of the film, and he's really, his hair's all frizzy, he's all crazy, he's feeding the master, classic signature lines, etc. One thing I mentioned that the only thing that was missing from here was the well, never mind. It's a Dracula film. Never mind what's missing here. Anyway, I will say Lucy. So Lucy's not in this. It's Mina and Jonathan, if that's who they are. But I know that one of the two, Lucy or Mina, is missing because there is only one. There's only one. It's either Lucy or it's Mina. So who is it then that's missing? I'll have to give this another go and look at this again to see if I can attack my know-how of the characters in this film. But it's likely that it's not gonna be making it into the movie review. I'll still know, it just won't be in the movie review. So there's there's all your main points that you want to watch it here that I could squeeze into a short amount of time. As for some of the wacky, trippy stuff. I'm just going to add a few odds and ends here. There's some wacky, trippy stuff in here. Not only is there black and white sepia tone, they have kind of purplish colors, pinkish colors. Random colors show up from time to time. Sort of kind of like giving it that vibe of one of my favorite films of all time. It just so happens to be Frank Miller's Sin City. And there you have it, guys. I think I missed something, but hey, it's like I said, it's a Dracula film. Who cares about what's missing? Seeing it. So let's do the rating. Let's do the rating and another quick highlight here. That's basically not a highlight. Actually, it's a recap. So Renfield's got his part. No Van Helsing. Only one of the women and also Dr. Stewart out in there. Lucy Stewart, Mina and Jonathan. It's literally kind of a Frankenstein monster of a film, and it's also just so happens to be highly anticipated. This film was highly anticipated for sure too. So there's basically that's my recap. Just stuff that I want you to be aware of that are completely under the context of a Dracula film. This is the Frankenstein monster of all Dracula films. Of all the Dracula films, I will say this. I think that not only does this get a solid 5 out of 5 stars, seriously, it just does. I mean, despite everything that it's missing, I can understand and go with the context of it's a Frankenstein monster of a Dracula film, giving it a solid 5 out of 5 stars. I think it's better than the rest. I think it's better than all the rest of them. So that is going to be pretty hard to beat, but we'll see if there's we'll see about that. I mean, I think these guys might be a competition with Renfield, the creators of Renfield, but it's not though. It's just not in my eyes. It's not a competition. Like I said, it's aimed at more of a younger crowd. This is certainly aimed at people just my age. This one's just right. This is the Goldilocks of movies for me. And I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm Mickey Gemini. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, hit the bell to get notifications. And also buy me a coffee. Bye.